Hi, welcome to Far From Eden. This is where I am going to translate the woman speak, the woman splaining, and the rest of the nonsense that they spew that honestly sometimes they don't even understand why they're doing it. It's embarrassing if they had the capability of being embarrassed. If they had any drop of humility in them, it would be quite embarrassing. But luckily for us, they go on TikTok and demonstrate who they are and their lack of character. I am sick and tired of men being disposed of, rejected, and completely ruined by women who have the power of the law and the state behind them and the media. Interesting that they have all of that behind them. Think about it. Women could not have brought in womanism by themselves. We don't have that kind of power. Power it comes from the ability to back it up with force. And let's face it, that's not what women are. You know what I mean? We didn't manipulate our way into it. There's a whole power structure behind it, and that's always an underlying feature to all of this. However, without further ado, let's get into this men only video. I'm going to analyze what the women are saying and a couple of things that in the video Pearl missed, and also the narrator, the owner of the channel, Mr. Men Only himself, because I don't know who it is, but there's a lot there, and I want to share with you my thoughts, because there's some things that are not being called out. There just are some things that are just still not being called out entirely, and there are things that are not being explained that is tied to that. So let's get into it. Let's see. I remember technology here. Okay. Oh yeah. Okay. Here we go. Brace yourselves. Buckle up. But hopefully I help with the turbulence a little bit. That's what I want to do. I want to help explain some of this stuff so you can have further confirmation that it's not you, right? That it wasn't you in your marriage. It isn't you, that's being rejected. And if you've been rejected, or nobody, or you're not even considered by women, that you're just like invisible because you don't have a 6-figure income, or you're not over 6 feet tall, or one of the other sixes. Interesting that it's like 3 sixes, just saying. Like, you probably dodged a bullet, honestly. Because on one side, you got the men that have been absolutely wrecked by women. On the other side, you got men that are like, oh my God, they won't even look at me. I can't even get a date. The one side that's been wrecked says, you guys are dodging bullets. You don't understand. So it's a sliver of, I guess it's the silver lining. So I feel bad. I wish I could fix it. Let's go. Okay, sorry. I gotta see my screen. There we go. There it is. Helps if I can see what we're watching.
I'm about to start my 75 soft. And
woman is upset because things didn't go her way. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell for more thought-provoking stories. Let's get into it.
I've been single for a long time. I go on these dating website advice things, and I read recently that a woman should offer to pay for 50%, half the dinner on the first date. So they said men would definitely say no, but they'll appreciate the effort. Well, the last couple of times they've said yes. So I thought, this backfired. Let me see.
This backfired. Isn't that funny? She was offering as a test. This is part of it. Like, we can react to the whole of it, but that's something right there that shows like you're already dishonest. You're already testing and playing around.
My question is, do men really appreciate it? And should women offer to pay for half on the first date?
No, they don't appreciate it, and you shouldn't offer it. It's just, look, you know what? I really get sick of dating sites trying to play both sides of the fence. You want to match a woman up with somebody, but then you want her to be this totally independent, standalone person. Well, guess what? A man can't be an independent, standalone person. A man, a heterosexual man, is nothing without a woman. Zero.
Okay, there it is. Let's think this stuff through. Let's logic this, okay? A heterosexual man is nothing without a woman. Is Elon Musk, would he be okay being unmarried the rest of his life? Would he still be productive? Would he still be competitive? Would he still be successful and happy? People pandering to us will say is that competitive, successful men need us.
It's not just pandering to us. It's more than that. It is, hold on just one second. Sorry about that. I had a coughing attack. Might happen again. When I cough. And this is Lola. She's just been groomed. She looks a little like a plucked chicken, but also incredibly cute. This is Lola. She is my little dog because I am a complete stereotype. And yes, I treat her like she's my baby because I don't have one. So anyway, when she distracts me, I am reminded to ask you guys to please like the video. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Honestly, you can look back in my videos. I am not in this to make money. I'm not in here to grift. I am in here to tell the truth, and the truth about what men are facing and who women are. And that is the only thing. I am not here to like be a YouTuber and So anyway, I forget to say like the video, subscribe to the channel. And I was gonna say, subscribe to the channel. Follow the videos. You will not see me change. You will not see me waver on this. I will not. They're going to have to come carry me away. Like the men in suits are going to have to come and carry me away and, you know, file charges for misinformation or what have you. But anyway, that's Lola, and she's kindly asking you to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Let's keep going with this. Pearl is not wrong. I don't disagree with what she's saying entirely. I think with all due respect, she doesn't fully understand from whence this all comes. I believe Steve Harvey is up there. You can almost see it. He looks like he's making a hostage video, right? It's like, this is what I'm supposed to say because I have gotten my fame and riches from making a deal with the devil. And now I have to say what everybody, you know, what the overlords want me to say. And I think it's good does it make a difference? Does it ease your pain as men? Does it change the way you're treated? No, it doesn't. But I think seeking truth is where you find more power, right? And I think it shows you everything that you are up against, everything that's against you. So, you know, when you feel this, you know, beaten down, yeah, you've got incredible power against men who are independent, who don't stand with womanism, who don't simp. You guys are the threat because you guys aren't voting in communism. Anyway, let's keep going with this whole thing.
They do not need us in any way because masculine men are going to do what they're going to do regardless of if you're there or not.
That's right.
Men that do things for women, they're simps. Masculine men do things for themselves.
I'm going to take it a step further. In this day and age, and for a very long time, women hold men back. It isn't just that they don't need us, that you guys don't need us. In this day and age, and probably for the last at least 70 years, I'm going to say, we've held you back. We are the ones that demand the giant houses. We are the ones that want these new cars. Like, none of that's necessary. And you guys understand that, but you have to keep, keep making her happy, cheaper to keep her, happy wife, happy life. And so what does that do to you? It means you're going to work harder than is necessary for a bunch of baloney that nobody needs. That does not help you. That keeps you shackled. And I firmly believe that women, that is what we are being used to do, to hold you back. When you're busy doing all that as a man, well, you're not questioning the overlords. You're not getting together and questioning things and making decisions and running your actual own life, right? When you have a woman running your life, it's really the same as having the state run your life, because when you work all that extra, guess what you're also doing? Paying more taxes. And we all know, say it with me, taxation is theft.
Or because to follow God, or maybe their purpose, a guy like Elon Musk is going to buy Twitter and launch rockets into space, with or without us. There's no building a man. Behind every great man is a great woman is a load of crap. They just say that to make us feel better. That's all pandering.
Ask any heterosexual man and he'll.
They also say it, she's right, but they also say it to emasculate you. They say it to emasculate you. So if you're one of the men that can't get a date, has never been considered by women because they're getting all these likes from the 8s, 9s, and 10s that just want to use them, and as Homath would say, use them as a sleeper or sweeper, right? They're not valued, but the women are like, have their gaze, like the 4s and 5s have their gaze on those 8s, 9s, and 10s, so they're not looking at any average men. This is to emasculate you, to say, well, guess what? You're not a man because you don't have a woman. That's baloney. I would say there are so many men that have a woman, and because of that, they're less than a man. See why I wanted to analyze this video?
They'll tell you, without women, this don't work. This is nothing without you.
You can tell he's pandering. Now he's giving a speech that makes women feel good. Oh, yes, he should pay for everything. Yes, yes, yes. He should do everything. Yes, I want to get the ring. And look at the audience. It's overwhelmingly unattractive women.
Steve Harvey is the greatest simp of all time. Steve Harvey's advice, while it might have worked a few decades ago, is outdated for today's dating scene. He's still operating under the assumption that men should be bending over backward and breaking the bank just to have a chance with a woman. Like it's some sort of privilege to throw money and effort at someone who's not even reciprocating. The reality is,
Not just a privilege, like it's some sort of responsibility. That's the other thing. I appreciate Men Only. I think he makes great videos, but yes, they are acting like it's some sort of a privilege, but it's beyond that. He is, at the very least, Steve Harvey is insinuating that it's your responsibility as a man to get a woman and pay for everything. This is horrible, horrible advice, whatever. It's just horrible. And I also want to say, can we just comment on this lady who is asking this question, or she's not really asking a question. Why would a woman need to ask a question? They know everything. But can you believe, okay, the whole tripod is acting up. Can you believe this is an old lady, okay? She's got on makeup and all kinds of stuff. I don't want to say that she's had like Botox and other sorts of at least minor plastic surgery type things, because I don't know. And I wouldn't want to, slander someone. But this is an old lady. Like, where are your grandbabies? Where are your grandbabies? Because why are you talking about dating? Like, you're an old lady, stop it. More propaganda. And we don't even talk about it because there's so many layers of this baloney.
times have changed. Women and men make the same amount of money, and the dating game isn't what it used to be. The whole men pay for everything model doesn't fly anymore. especially when most of these women don't even respect the effort being put in. Men are expected to take women on multiple expensive dates.
Dang that equality. Man, they wanted equality, and dude, it's backfiring. Not that kind of equality.
Only to hear the same tired excuse of, I don't feel chemistry, or worse, get friend-zoned and strung along. It's like a game some women play, reaping the benefits while never intending to commit or give anything in return. And let's be honest, men are fed up. Who wouldn't be? Paying for dinner after dinner, investing time, energy, and money into someone who knew from the start they weren't interested. And then, they act surprised when men start to walk away, angry, frustrated, and no longer willing to play the game. The consequences of that manipulation? It's on them, 100%. Women who play this game, hoping to milk the dating scene for free meals or validation, are creating their own loneliness in the long run. Men are wising up to this and refusing to be the backup plan, the wallet, or the emotional sponge. And that's why guys are pulling back, refusing to chase or pay for expensive dates unless they're sure it's a two-way street.
Good. And here's the thing. I'll even push back on that. Pulling back unless it's a two-way street. Careful. Be very, very careful, because I'm thinking the way I have a woman brain, unfortunately for me. But this is the thing. What women will eventually figure out is that they will say, oh, I'll go halvesies on the date. I'll go halvesies on this, till she gets you down the aisle. It's all heading to that. So if they figure out, okay, well, I'm going to have to do this and this to try to get them down the aisle, because they know once they get you signing those government papers, marriage, there's no more halvesies anymore. Now you've become the beta male provider. So be very careful, because they will figure out that that's a way to get you too. I'm just kind of forecasting the way it might go.
The days of men footing the bill while getting nothing in return are over, and honestly, that's exactly how it should be. So, yeah, Steve Harvey's advice? It's a fast track to loneliness for women who follow it, because men aren't playing by those outdated rules anymore. Women who expect men to
Right.
still live by that standard are in for a rude awakening when they realize men.
Exactly what he said. It leads to women being alone. That's what the overlords want. They don't want families. They don't want children of, a traditional nuclear family, because they don't have as much access to the offspring of those families. They want, if they get any children at all, they want it to be, single mothers. That way the child's in way more daycare. The child has no father. So the overlords and the state have way more access to those children. Because the end goal, in my humble, not so humble opinion, is leftism, communism, right? Totalitarianism. This is all a way to get there. And, they want you just thinking about the dating and all this, and trying to figure it out. These women are, the Matrix. Remember the movie The Matrix? Everybody's an agent. They're all agents. They're all agents.
Want equality in the dating world, too. If she's not willing to give as much as she's.
I forgot that this is a little fast, and I wasn't intending for it to be. That is just, when I was analyzing the video, I was playing it fast. I think we're fine so far. I didn't even notice it. I don't know if you guys did, because I think we all watch videos played back faster. So eventually you watch it in regular speed and they all sound drunk.
He's asking for should
Yes.
be the one left
Oh
behind.
my God. I'm so
I'm
sorry.
about to start my 75 soft. And I guess it's good timing because I just got dumped. And now I just get to spend the next 75 days focusing on myself. I slept on the floor of an airport for 11 hours.
Okay. First of all, well, first thing I'm going to say about this chickadee is I don't know. This is amplified. Okay, I think she's sad. I don't think she's sad for the reasons she is saying. I think, this is probably a TikTok. I think she is making content and she knows that a woman crying gets more views, etc. So why? Why is she doing this? Well, women love attention, and the views on, TikTok or whatever are that equals love for them, it seems. So this is not genuine, and it's partially because she's not sad about the things she's claiming to be sad about. She was trying to seal the con, right? Because these women, as I alluded to earlier, they want that marriage contract. Whether they say it or not, whether they admit it or not, that's what they want. And she was trying to get that with this guy, and you guys will hear it didn't happen, right? So rather than admit that she's a 304, which I think she is, or that she was too stupid to understand what transaction was happening, she's going to be a victim. You see, remember this always. Women operate based on, if I'm the victim, I can't be the villain. So, watch every single cop cam video of a chick. It's like, oh no, da, da, da. Because everything is a story to us, right? And everybody's got a role. So if we are the victim, we're not the bad guy. Someone else must be the bad guy. That is not how the world actually is, but they fall into this every time. I've been studying these people. It's what I do. I study these people and their behavior and their expectations. And time and time and time again, we're the victims. So, oh my God, you can be crying and be the villain at the same dang time, right? There can be two villains. What if she's the villain and the guy's a villain? Maybe he's kind of a pickup artist, right? So she's trying to, kind of scam a guy into a long-term relationship. She's trying to breadcrumb him along towards that. He's trying to breadcrumb her along to the bedroom funsies. Equal. But she's not ever going to admit that. So we have to be crying in our car. You know how we all do. We go in our cars and we just speak. It's ridiculous. Just because we're used to it doesn't mean it's not ridiculous.
Spend so much on flights to go out there and only see him for maybe 3 hours a day, if that.
I wonder what they did for 3 hours.
I can't even be mad at him. I told myself that if it wasn't him, that I wanted to marry someone like him or just like him.
I bet you did. I bet you did want. But I want. Are you 6 years old?
I guess this is how I'm starting my 75 song.
I need to research what the heck that is. I swear, I'm so out of the loop. I don't know. I have this one friend who's in her 20s, and she's actually pretty cool. We disagree on some things, but she's pretty cool. And she's the one that kind of lets me know what some of these things are, because I don't know. I still live under my rock. I just peek out and look at YouTube and TikTok a little bit to study these people.
At basically rock bottom.
Here's the thing. When a woman like that gets dumped by a guy like Chad, it's always the same story, right? She thought she could change him, thought he'd commit, or believed she was different from all the others. But in the
Mhm.
end, Chad does what Chad always does. He moves on, leaving her in the dust. And
Chad's gonna
now
Chad.
she's crying on the internet, playing the victim, like she didn't see it coming. But let's
She didn't see it coming. That's the thing. She did not see it coming because she's special. Whatever stuff he said to her to make her think she was special, this, that, and the other. And a lot of it was like her own brain that already thinks that. So it's not difficult to, encourage a woman to think that she's the most special and she's the best, because let's face it, she kind of already thinks that. So she did not see it coming. She thought she was winning. She thought she had pulled one over on him. She really did. That's the thing. These women think that their con is working. So if he's being this certain way to entice her, how is she being that isn't exactly who she is? What kind of mask was she wearing? Oh, nothing at all, right? Oh, she was just honest and everything was pure and she didn't pretend to be more feminine than she is. Right. She didn't hide her body count number. Right? Sure.
be real. Everyone saw it coming except her. She fell for the same old trap, chasing after the guy who gave her just enough attention to keep her around, but never enough to truly be there for her.
I mean, what a moron. She has to fly there, right? Spend only 3 hours with him, and she thought she was the one? Wow. I'll say it again, you guys. And it's partially a plug for, is Lola still there? She is. My goodness. Don't forget to like the video. Oh my God. I totally forgot what I was saying, you guys. Oh, MS brain. What in the heck? It'll come back to me. Let's just go. See, I'm practicing for doing it live.
Meanwhile, she probably ignored a good guy or two along the way, thinking they weren't exciting enough, weren't alpha enough. And now, here she is, heartbroken, pouring her sob story all over social media, hoping for sympathy. But the truth is, she put herself in that situation.
Yes.
She chose the bad boy, the one who wasn't going to stick around. She played the game and lost. And now, she's realizing that the guys who are actually stable, respectful, and willing to invest in her are the ones she brushed off.
But remember what the game is that she lost. She's trying to get him to sign on like the marriage certificate. She wants that government ironclad, I now own you. Now, if I'm unhappy, I'll take your stuff, I'll take your children, I'll take all of it. That's why she's crying. This is not love lost. This is ego bruised and soft life dreams fading away.
The crying? It's not just about the breakup. It's the realization that she bet on the wrong guy again. This is what happens when you prioritize excitement over stability, when you confuse thrill with love, and when you chase after guys who are never.
Okay, confuse thrill with love. I know that's what a lot of guys think, that it's like, oh, it's exciting and stuff like that. That's kind of it, what the women are going for. But it's the feelings. At the end of the day, just remember, you guys, these women don't know what love even is. Love is sacrifice. Love is unconditional. Okay? Keep that in mind. Love is sacrificial and love is unconditional. Men understand that way more than women do. Women think Love is feelings, and I'm happy. And so that means if my feelings change, because of course women's feelings never change, or if I'm unhappy, I must not be in love. Doesn't matter what is making her unhappy, must not be in love. Because if I were in love, I'd be happy. Like, it's really like, trust me, ask yourself, does she even know what love is? Sacrificial and unconditional. Doesn't mean you think everything your man does is perfect and wonderful. It just means that even when he's not perfect and wonderful, because guess what? Nobody is that all the time. Nobody. You're still gonna love him. It's a decision, right? And if you're thinking, yeah, that doesn't seem like what she'd think, that's because it's not there. It's really not. It's feelings. And because it's so easy to get divorced, so easy to ruin a man's life that way, you cannot take the risk. You cannot take a risk. Do not bet on any woman. It's too risky.
Are going to settle down. Women like her need to stop acting surprised when the Chads of the world do exactly what they've always done. Use, discard, and move on. She knew what she was getting into, but now that it didn't go her way,
No,
she's
she
looking
didn't.
for someone else to blame. But in reality,
Yes.
she played herself. It's a cycle, and until she stops chasing,
No, she didn't play herself. She tried to play him, and she lost. Even the men only guy is accidentally falling into this. She's sort of a victim in a way. You have to look at this crying woman as the perpetrator. She's just the predator that lost the prey. That's what this is. This is a lion who didn't get the gazelle or whatever. You know what I mean? This is not the gazelle.
the guys who aren't serious and starts valuing the men who actually want to build something real, she's going to keep ending up in this same position, crying over a guy who never cared in the first place. Blame it on Chad if you want, but the responsibility lies solely on her. She
Yep.
knew the game, and she lost.
Give me a moment to show you why dating today is so hard
Oh,
for
whoops.
women. They're constantly going after men that really don't want them. Just
That's
want their
not me.
cheeks. Take a look at this. Watch this.
Playing fast.
He's literally on his way up here, and I have like a few minutes, but I wanted to make sure I recorded this just in case, we get married because I really like him. But
Did you see that? When she's like, Cass, I really like him. No, you really like yourself. Also, this looks like a filter. I'm sorry. She's got a lot of makeup on, but I'm not the filter expert, but this looks like a filter. Because I know what the filters do. I know how they change your face. Eyes wider, eyes lifted, nose skinnier, face more slender. Interesting. Interesting. It kind of looks like a filter. Eyes brighter. I mean, look at that. Anyway, she likes herself. She really likes him. Girl, you don't know him. You like yourself and you ready to retire.
so I don't know what tonight's going to be like, and I'm excited to see what he plans on doing tonight.
Okay. I am just going to skip forward because this man gives some analysis and I think it's fairly good, but you know, we're going to skip ahead to see how that went. Now, she's again trying for the con. She is wanting to entrap him. I am bad at this. Oh my goodness. Are you serious? I'm bad at this. She wants to entrap him. I don't know if that's, no, not entrap. She wants to trap him. She's ready to retire. She's put on the get up, even without the filter. She's got a lot of the contour and everything that makes her look similar to a filter, as similar as is possible in the physical world. And she's wanting to trap him. I wonder if she's behaving very feminine. You think she acts like that? when, say, her order is wrong at a restaurant, when she's not performing for the guy? Do you think she acts that way when she doesn't get her way? Or is this just, oh my gosh, my favorite phrase, sarcasm, she's in her feminine. I'm sorry. You're either feminine or you're not. You don't get into your feminine. That's called being fake. It's called lying. Goodness gracious, these women exhaust me. Oh, I went too far. Whoops-a-daisy. Whoops-a-daisy. Okay, let's try that. Let's see if I did it.
Sex would be the ticket to commitment, but it
Oh,
never
yeah.
was.
Yeah, that's what they think. They think that if they do it with a dude, then there's a transaction that took place, right? That he owes her something because she expected something and then she did the deed. And nope. Wait a minute. Did I? I did. I missed the. I'm so sorry, you guys. We'll get it. We'll get it. We'll get it. Oh, yeah. Because, there's like an after. Like I said in the beginning, aren't you embarrassed? Like, there's no shame.
What he wants. He'll magically fall in love and want a
Let's get this.
relationship.
Let's
It's a
see.
fantasy they refuse to let go of. Women will overlook the nice guys.
Oh, yeah, I did. I missed it entirely. Look at that. There she is, doing her thing before the date, and then his commentary.
Actually
hold on.
want a serious relationship.
Maybe I did have it right in the first place. All right, let's just get back. It's fine. So she has a little clip of herself in bed after the date. And it's pretty hilarious because she didn't get what she wanted. Keep
Relationship. It's a fantasy they refuse to let go of. Women will overlook the nice guys who would actually want a serious relationship,
Yeah.
who are genuine, respectful, and willing to invest emotionally.
But those generally are betas. A lot of them are beta simps. And here's why I know that. Because you kind of have to be to get these women to think you have value. If you're not an 8, 9, or a 10, then don't simp for her and make her think that, oh, I guess, yeah, I should settle. Because you're like, well, here's a taste of the cash and prizes. No, that's not better. That doesn't mean she thinks you have value in a sense that you have value. It means she then thinks you're useful. Okay, let's just play it from here forward.
Only to chase after men who see them as another option in their already crowded roster.
Yeah.
These women are blinded by the allure of the top-tier men and the excitement that comes with it. They can't see the reality that these men don't really want them for more than a short-term fling. But here's
Right.
the kicker. When things fall apart, when she's left wondering why he's not texting her back or why he's not taking her seriously, the blame gets placed on the men instead of acknowledging her role in choosing someone who was never serious from the start. She thought sex would be the ticket to commitment, but it never was. She mistook physical attraction for emotional investment. The truth is, a lot of women need to come to grips with this harsh reality. Just because a guy sleeps with you doesn't mean he wants to build a future with you.
There you go.
If anything,
That's the thing. There was a law back in the early 20th century where it might still be on the books. It just hasn't been used for a long time, where women would sue men because they didn't marry them, basically. Isn't that crazy? Because that's the mentality. They cannot imagine that you don't owe them something. and they'll sit there and try to say, oh, no, I just can do it and not have any feelings, or I do it like a guy. No, they're not. They think there's some kind of transaction taking place and that you owe them. And that is where you get crazy ex-girlfriend syndrome.
It's a clear sign that he's just enjoying the moment, not planning a future. Women need to stop believing that they can change a man's mind through intimacy and start recognizing when someone is simply not interested in more than a casual encounter. Until that happens, we'll keep seeing the same cycle.
Well, that is why, again, I will say, that is why fathers used to have a lot more say about what kind of dudes come sniffing around, and used to be the in between their daughter and these suitors, right? That's not happening anymore. There's no guard between. So here's what you get. It's ridiculous.
Women chasing the top 20%, ignoring the men who genuinely want them, and ending up confused and heartbroken when those top-tier men don't stick around. It's time for women to stop playing themselves and start looking for men who actually want what they want, not just someone who's there for a good time, no matter how exciting that might seem in the moment.
If you're going on a first date with someone, do you expect for plans to be confirmed like at least the day of, like some kind of communication confirming plans? I made plans with a guy a week ago. And we talked like here and there throughout the week, and we were supposed to go out last night. We were supposed to go, and I was like, hey, I'll meet you there. Because you know how I feel about picking me up or anything like that. No, I'll meet you there. It's fine. We're supposed to meet somewhere at 8. I didn't hear from him Thursday. I didn't hear from him Friday. I didn't hear anything from him Saturday. As far as I'm concerned, you're ghosting me. Like, we're not talking anymore, right? Like, there's no way you're still going to show up at this place on Saturday. Even if you didn't talk to me at all Thursday, Friday, all day Saturday, some point Saturday, you would be like, hey, confirming.
All right. Okay. I just want to pop in here and say, what a nightmare. Don't you feel like I can see this woman in the house? I can see what kind of person she is in a relationship. Hypercritical, hyper bossy. It's my way or the highway. These expectations. I'm just like, lady, first of all, the wall has smacked you in the face and it is over. Like, no. And yet they get like that. They get, smacked in the face by the wall, and their expectations are even higher. It's astounding. She's, again, how are you not embarrassed? Just blah, 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 blah. Lady, this is why men are walking away. Well, there's a million reasons, but why would you, do you want to come home to this? Is this what you want talking to you when you go to bed at night? Is this what you want to hear? Blah, 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 blah. No. This is what you get. You know those chicks in the beginning that were like, oh, da-da-da-da-da-da-da. I'm going to go out on a date and I really like him, blah, blah, blah. This is what they turn into when they've caught you. That's the con.
We're on for tonight at 8. Or, hey, when you get there, I got us a table. I'm this person at the bar. Like, we have never even met before. So anyway, come Saturday morning, I'm like, you know what? I haven't heard from him 2 days. I'm already making other plans for Saturday. I'm already trying to figure out something else I can do because I think that it's not a thing, right?
Stay tuned, because I have a whole different take on this woman when she finally shuts up.
Whole day goes by. Whole night goes by. I go out, do other things. This morning, I wake up to a text message from him saying, it was nice meeting you last night, ... Sir, no part of me believes you went there last night. No part of me believes that you sat at that bar last night waiting for me and did not text me last night and came up with some kind of fucking bitchy thing to text me this morning. Absolutely zero part of me thinks that happened. I think, here's what I think, and you can tell me if I'm wrong. I think you had other plans. You went out and did other things, and it didn't work out the way you thought last night with whatever other girl that you thought you were going out with or your guy friends, whatever. And this morning, I was like, oh shit, I should reach back out to her and see if I can double down and make her feel bad and come back crawling back and be like, oh yeah, no, absolutely not. You did not talk to me for 3 days. You did not confirm. I am not going to go sit by myself at a restaurant hoping some guy shows up. And if you cannot do something as simple as even hold a conversation for a couple days or confirm plans, that I'm pretty sure in the first place I made or I suggested. It wasn't even like you planned.
She may. I didn't catch that the first time I watched this. The plans that she made, that's so funny. She threw that in. Like, you can't even make plans. I bet you made the plans, lady. I bet you did. I bet you make all the plans for everyone. I still have more to say about her when she finally shuts up.
And something and I didn't show up. I am not going to. What kind of relationship would that be if you cannot even do that to start off the relationship? I just blocked him and I'm moving on. But am I wrong here?
Yes, she's wrong here. You are wrong here, lady, and I'll explain why. Because men only, all due respect, didn't pick up on it. And I don't know that I'm correct. This is merely my opinion. However, I think she's lying. This woman, there's no way this woman is the type of woman to not, since she made the plans, to not be the one to check, to confirm, to even change something. I think she forgot. I think her life is utter chaos. I think because she's in charge and I think she's got 50,000 things going on. She probably has children. She probably has a job. She's probably going 50,000 different directions. I think she forgot. And then got the text the next day that said, it was nice meeting you, ... And she was like, oh my God. But then she was like, hey, but he didn't confirm. He didn't confirm. So of course I started making other plans. I have a life of my own. Blah, 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 blah. And then she came up with this whole spiel and she decided to block him because she is a little embarrassed. But again, it's ego. It's not humility. Don't get that confused. And she blocked him. But then she goes online to say it's like, just in case, I want to put it out there that it's all his fault. But I swear, I bet you, if I was betting, I bet you she forgot. And this is all about saving face. Her life is probably utterly chaotic. And she's got too many different things going too many different directions. And she totally forgot. That's what I think. But let's hear what Men Only has to say about it.
Here's the thing. She didn't even bother texting him to confirm the date. And now she's sitting there acting like she's surprised it fell through. How does that make any sense? It's like she expects him to do all the work, set the date, follow up, and show up, while she sits back and does nothing. The reality is, if she really cared about seeing him, or if she was genuinely interested, she would have texted him, even if just to confirm.
If she remembered, she would have texted him. She would have. This is a lie. And this is how far women will go to protect themselves from blame, ever of being blamed. It's never their fault. It will always be your fault. And this is how conniving and twisted they will make it. Never, ever underestimate a woman's ability to perform and act. We are all Oscar award winning. Well, some people not as much. Ironically, Amber Heard, no. Like, she was clearly trying to perform at that trial. But yeah, this woman, even in this still shot, I'm like, no. This is a woman whose life is completely out of order and she forgot and she's trying to pretend that it's all his fault.
But she didn't, and that speaks volumes. It's another classic case of women wanting all the effort to come from the man, as if they're just supposed to sit back and be catered to without lifting a finger. She didn't prioritize the date, didn't make any effort to check in, and now she's probably blaming him for not following up. But why should he? Men want to see some effort too, especially these days when the dating scene has become so one-sided. Why is it so hard for her to just...
The dating scene has always been one-sided. Ever since dating was invented, because newsflash, we didn't always date. this whole idea of I'm going to try out different people and break up and break up and break up and break up, that is not good for us. It traumatizes us. It men too. It's not good for humans, because when you are constantly like pairing up and breaking up and pairing up and breaking up, and then you're supposed to find the one and go on forever, you have all these other experiences and heartbreak and disappointments and everything with the opposite gender, and with, you know, it's just very bad. So, but it's always been one-sided. Always. The man was always having to pay. And here's what I'm saying. The woman has never, even you might go, well, back in the 1950s, da, da, da. No, that was soft life. It was soft life for women. They weren't growing gardens. They weren't homeschooling their children. They weren't taking care of like figuring out natural, antibiotics and stuff like that. They weren't doing that. They weren't providing value, right? Ever since dating and all of that came to be, coincidentally, women have not brought the value that the women before that brought. The women in the 1800s, by and large, brought some real value, brought children. It was like, we're going to have children, and as many come out of me, that's what we're going to have, right? But generally, in modern times, latter part of the 20th century, and definitely today, that's just not the case. So it's always been one-sided. It's not just today. And that needs to be pointed out, I think.
Send a simple text. It's not about playing hard to get or waiting around for him to chase. This is just basic communication. If she didn't even care enough to confirm, what does that say about her interest level? Women like her need to stop putting all the responsibility on the guy and start owning up to their lack of effort. If she was really interested, she would have done something as simple as sending a message, but instead, she didn't, and now she's left wondering why nothing happened. She missed her own opportunity and has no one to blame but herself. At the end of the day, men aren't mind readers. He's not going to jump through hoops if he's not getting any signals from her. She needs to realize that effort goes both ways.
And also, somebody needs to tell her, and women like her, you're not the boss of the world. This is a great still shot of her. This is her. This is so many of them. If you don't think those pretty and feminine ones from the beginning don't look like this when they're dissatisfied, then you don't know women.
And if she's not willing to put in even the smallest amount, she can't be upset when things don't go her way.
Men are not allowed to have preferences, standards, and boundaries. It happens to be the case that men are attracted to younger women for a myriad of reasons. And when I say younger women, I mean adult women from 18 and up. They've done studies on this. They ask men of all ages. The peak attractiveness that they see in women is between the age of like 20 and 22 is what men find the most physically attractive. It's kind of funny. Like, we don't shame women for.
I'm sorry, I made that face because that lady laughed. I didn't catch that the first time I watched it. She just like laughed at him. Women are trained. They think they're having thoughts, honestly. And I used to think that these were my thoughts. I'm like, these are not my thoughts. These are the thoughts that the media, including movies, music, commercials, all the things, right? All those things. I used to think that the thoughts I had were my own, but it's actually the messaging, because we women are very malleable. That's why the serpent waited for Eve to be alone and did his spiel, because he knew this is how I'm going to get my way, is I'm going to get her alone and then tell her some stuff and she's going to believe it. That's exactly what the media and everything does. Is it a coincidence that the smartphone, the first one that came out, is Apple with a bite taken out of it? Like, hello, this is a little bit like they have to tell you what they're doing. But yeah, that lady laughed because she is just doing what she's been programmed to do, and that is laugh at the man who has preferences and laugh at the man who prefers a younger woman. You all do, and they're programmed to believe that is predatorial. that those are years where they're finding themselves, and that, you know, they should be in school and doing all that type of thing. When in reality, that's why that's why the messaging is that way for women, so that they will withhold those years from a man. You notice they are trained and programmed to scoff and recoil at the idea of a man preferring a young, vibrant, fertile woman. Like, that's what they're scoffing at. They think those years are better served in some government indoctrination center. Oh, I'm sorry, I meant university. Or riding that carousel. In reality, like, hello, no, that's again what the state wants them to do. So that after that, they're all traumatized and used up. And then, like, then that's not what men want. And it helps turn them into that lady we just watched. That's why she's so angry and masculine. It's part of the reason.
For y'all preferences, you want a guy who's confident, rich, funny, charismatic, all these things, right? But men, we have different preferences than you guys do.
Here's the thing. Men are visual creatures, and that's just the way it is.
Yep.
It's not about being shallow. It's primal. It's instinctive. For men, attraction isn't something they can be guilt or shamed into feeling. Yet, women will often try to manipulate this natural instinct, trying to control what men should find attractive or how they should behave. We see this all the time, where women will shame men for preferring younger women, claiming it's shallow or unfair. But let's be real here. For men, it's about biology. Younger women around 20 to 22 are in their prime for reproduction.
Yep.
They're the perfect candidates, not just for attraction, but for long-term family building. They've got youth, vitality, and the years ahead to have children and raise a family,
Yep.
which is what many men are instinctively wired to look for. But
How dare you?
instead of accepting this, women will try to shame men for it, forcing them into this mold of political correctness, as if they can dictate a man's natural desires. They'll criticize men for going with what makes them hard, but at the same time, they manipulate those same desires to their benefit when it suits them. Women know exactly how to play into what men are naturally attracted to, and they do it to gain attention, resources, or validation. Yet when it doesn't work in their favor, they're quick to blame men. The fact is, women need to stop trying to control how men feel or what they're attracted to. It's biology. It's instinct. Men aren't going to settle for something they don't truly want just to fit into some societal expectation women have created. Men go for what they're naturally drawn to, and women should stop trying to manipulate or shame them into feeling differently.
Yeah.
Women have mastered the art of using their looks and youth to their advantage, so they shouldn't act surprised when men choose.
It's so funny because women on one hand will be like, you shouldn't like younger women like that. You shouldn't have a preference for that. That must mean you're gross. And you only think like that because society has made you think like that. Like he said, and honestly, I'm a woman, so I hadn't thought about it this way because the way our body works is totally different. And I was just realizing because he said about being hard, I don't know any euphemism to, like, what turns a man on turns a man on. Like, I'm realizing, like, that appendage that y'all have has a bit of a mind of its own. So how can it be, well, society has taught men to want this, and da, 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 da. I don't think your appendage cares much about society. I don't think so. So I'm realizing now what that must be like for you guys when women say that, or even when, other guys say it. That must be even weirder. Like, come on. It has a mind of its own. It likes what it likes. And it doesn't like old crusty ones. It's attracted to something that benefits society and promotes children. Honestly, weird. That's funny. Sometimes I have these revelations and realizations while I am recording these videos. because I never want to close my mind off to think, well, I know what it is and I know men's issues and I understand men. No, I am a woman hindered by a woman brain. So that means that I don't have a man's brain. I have to listen to you guys and value what you're saying, and therefore go, oh, that's a whole other level. I hadn't even realized, because my brain doesn't think like that. Women's bodies don't work like that. We can be affected much more, much more by societal things of what we should be attracted to. It's way more something that can be affected by our thoughts. It can actually start here for us. It does start here for us. The physical attraction. Oh my gosh, you guys, breakthrough. It does start, that's not a breakthrough, I already knew that, but like it starts here for us and then translates physically. But for men, wow, yeah, that's different. It must make you, no wonder you get so angry at these beta enabler guys, because you're like, dude, you know how it is. How can you sit there and be like, oh, you shouldn't be attracted to women who are younger than 25, or you shouldn't want to get married before 30? Like, who is saying that? Wow.
Choose based on what works for them, too. In the end, it's women who are trying to have it both ways, benefiting from their attractiveness when it suits them, but crying foul when men make choices based on their own primal instincts. Men aren't wrong for being visual or for being drawn to younger women with more reproductive potential. That's just nature, and blaming men for following their instincts isn't going to change that.
You want to hear a really funny first date story? The reason that I don't trust men and the reason that I think they all suck, and you might as well get a hot rich one because
masculine. Do you guys notice? The older, well, yeah, you're like, yeah, we know, but I can see it. The older women are, the more masculine they become. This is what these life experiences and, time at government indoctrination centers, universities, that's what this does to them. And dating, and racking up that body count, it makes them masculine. She already has a deep voice in her. And they're just so aggressive. They don't even see it. I'm like, lady, you are masculine. Also, being, working, being, in a career and having that kind of pressure, that masculinizes you when you're taking care of your family and you've got babies, whether they're yours or they're your grandbabies, or you're like, making nourishing, nutritious food and growing the garden. All of that is bringing life and health and nurturing. You will stay feminine. You can't try to compete with men in the workforce, in the everything, and not become masculine.
We're all gonna suck and ghost you and cheat on you and love bomb you. So it doesn't really matter. Pick a hot rich one. Last week I went on a first date and he
You can pick all you want. That does not mean they want you.
got his VIP tickets to the Anderson .Paak concert, and in advance of the concert, he was like, "I'm gonna pre-order us an Uber Black so we can go together. It's like an hour drive from the West Side over to the Hollywood Bowl." And so we met in advance and got a drink before taking the Uber over. And while we were getting our drink or whatnot, and he was like, "Oh, I got you a gift," and I was like, "That's kind of weird. That's kind of a lot." And he was like, "No, it's like cute, funny." And turns out the gift was like a little teeny one of those like portable fans, and it also like had a USB to charge your phone. And he was like, "Yeah, I got it off Amazon." He was like, "It's the Hollywood Bowl and it's West LA. Like it might be hot. I didn't want you to be like hot or sweaty." And I was like, actually kind of cute. Put it in my purse, right?
Actually kind of cute. It's very sweet. It's considerate. It's generous. Actually kind of cute. And I put it in my purse. Ugh. Ew, lady.
Okay. Then we ordered the Uber Black, and he's like, "I also brought us some snacks and to-go wines for the Uber Black. It's an hour-long drive, right?" So he whips out a bag of nuts and 2 cups with like a wine to go in this Uber. So I'm like, damn, boy, like if he wanted to, he would. Then we have the 1 hour Uber Black there. We listen to Anderson .Paak. It's like cute R&B, sultry, what have you. We're Ubering back, and he's like, "I like would love to do something else." Well, yada yada. We like held hands during the concert. We like kissed, not made out, just kissed. So we go to another bar. We have like a nightcap, what have you. And he's like, "Should we get a dessert?" And I was like, I don't know, maybe too much. Anyways, my friend had told me she'd been like,
I don't know, maybe too much. How about, oh my gosh, thank you. This has been a wonderful date. You've been so generous and considerate. You've really gone above and beyond to make this a fun night. Even in the Uber, you went above and beyond to make the Uber ride to the concert, to the date, enjoyable and special. And I so appreciate the time it took and the expense it took. I'm so thankful. Let me make it up to you on the next date. Let me plan that and make it special for you. Do you think she said any of that? Well, she's not saying it here. I highly doubt it. I don't even think at this point this woman is capable. I don't know if she was ever capable. And I am mad because this dude was so nice, so sweet, all the rest of it. And she's just like, eh. And this is what she's going to say about it. She's even, just listen.
don't do anything with him, like if you like him, don't do anything with him. So I was like, send his ass home, I was like, we're not going to do anything, because I actually thought,
Excuse me? Send his home? I wonder if that's how he felt. Probably. She was probably like, well,
it all checks out. Concert, Uber Black, snacks in the car, fan for me at the concert. Like, what? Then I get a text from him that night telling me what a great date he had. Then I get a text from him the next day telling me how he'd had time to reflect on it and he was like super interested and intrigued and all this stuff, right? And I screenshot it and I sent it to my friends and I was like, am I being love bombed? And they were like, no, Eve, this is what healthy communication looks like. And I was like, okay. And I was like, well.
So how long did that take for her to screenshot it and then talk to her friend about it and all the rest of it? Like, meanwhile, he has put himself out there so much. He is allowing himself to be vulnerable. And you're just like, I don't know. I think he's a predator because this is love bombing. Like, stop with your, armchair psychology. I know I do it a lot, but this is like, they love bombing, narcissist, abuser, gaslighting. These are all the terms that the women love to use because it helps them. It advances their agenda.
Oh, this was a great first date. And I reciprocated. And I was like, what a wonderful first date. It was so nice to meet you. I had such a good time, yada, yada. I reciprocated his energy, right?
Reciprocated his energy. So you just matched it. Like, where's your vulnerability? Where's that part? I would like to know.
Want to know who I haven't heard from in 10 days? Yeah, put a finger down.
Here's the thing. The guy clearly did everything for her. He put in the effort, went above and beyond to show that he cared, and yet she couldn't even meet him halfway. That's the problem right there.
Right.
Women,
They will not show vulnerability. They have been trained not to be vulnerable. That is weakness. Problem is, you will never, ever have a meaningful relationship as a woman if you cannot be vulnerable. It's part of our nature, actually, that the media and all of it is trying to change, trying to masculinize us and make us tough and make us think that we're not vulnerable. We are vulnerable by nature. For example, if all the women disappeared today, men would survive, right? If all the men disappeared today, women have 3 weeks max because the grid would go down. There wouldn't be running water, like all the things. The grocery stores would be empty. The gas stations, there wouldn't be gas, like all of it. We can't do it. We think we can because of all the fakery, but we cannot. It's a lie. So we are never vulnerable. We are supposed to always be vulnerable because we are by nature. But they won't, they refuse to see it, which it's one of those truths that they refuse to see.
expect a man to go all out. But when it's time for them to step up, they offer the bare minimum and expect to be praised for it.
Yep.
It's unfair and exhausting for men who are genuinely
Yep.
trying. Women need to realize that relationships aren't one-sided. You can't expect a guy to do everything while you sit back and act like your mere presence is enough. That ice-cold demeanor, that attitude of putting in zero effort, is exactly what's causing men to walk away.
Yep.
Men want a partner who's chill, who reciprocates, who actually puts in effort instead of acting like they're doing him a favor by being there. The truth is, women need to lighten up. Being emotionally cold or distant isn't going to keep a man around. No guy wants to feel like he's doing all the work while his partner barely.
That's why some of them pretend, like the ones in the beginning, before they're utterly jaded and old, like these other ones. That's why they pretend to be vulnerable, but they're not. They're not. It's trick. It's bait.
Acknowledges his efforts. It's tiring, and it pushes men away. Ladies, if you want a guy to stay, you need to put in the work too. Show appreciation, make an effort, and stop acting like you're entitled to his time, effort, and resources just because. Relationships are a two-way street, and if you're only giving the bare minimum, don't be surprised when he walks away. At the end of the day, no man wants to feel like he's chasing after someone who isn't even willing to meet him halfway. If you want to be treated like a queen, then act like a partner. Put in the effort, be warm, be supportive, and stop expecting everything to be handed to you without reciprocating.
Don't just be, because women will hear that and think, oh, I have to act this way. I need to act la 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 la. No, you have to actually be that, which requires you to depend on someone else. Guess what, women? We are human beings, and human beings are not solo creatures. Human beings rely on each other. We, get together, we are families, and then we are communities. That is where we are safe. That is where we can maximize our potential. None of us are strong and independent. Not really. Men know that they rely on other men. They know that. They're not thinking, well, I can just do life completely solo. As far as like who invented all the things we use and who keeps the lights on, etc., like that. Men are not oblivious to that. They are not thinking that they got everything they got just because of themselves. But women believe that because powers that be want them to, because it serves the powers that be. It doesn't serve women. It doesn't. None of these things these women are saying in these videos is helpful to them. None of it. Womanism has never been helpful to women. It seems like it's like, oh, well, they're getting raises and they're getting, jobs and But yeah, but how is it affecting them? Are they happy? Are they content? Are they having children? No, they're going to be old, alone, and miserable. That is what it's all leading towards. Because that broken families, and what's better than a broken family is one that never got started in the first place. Just eradicate it. It's being eradicated. And one way to get that is to have the women think that they're so much better than that there's so many more important things for them to do. There's not. Being a mother is the most important thing that a woman can do. And saying that out loud, I remember my womanism teaching, like, oh my God, don't just, reduce women to their uteruses. It's not. I wish I knew then what I know now. I would have made sure to make an effort and get married, and I would have had as many babies as God decided I should have. And now, because I believed that that was just an option, that I could be somehow meaningful, you guys, I say it out loud, it's so embarrassing. I thought that I could have meaning and purpose as a horse trainer and riding instructor. You guys, it's not true. It's not true. It's not true. You know, and I'm sure there were men that would have, you know, loved me and accepted me with the MS regardless. They would have been like, I don't care if you're in a wheelchair. I don't care if you have your wheelie walker. It doesn't matter to me. I didn't give men that benefit. I really thought that I thought that none of you would be able, not able. I really thought that that's how little I thought of men, that they would never be able to accept me with this disability and the looming, you know, MS monster that could take away who knows what from me. I just really was like, well, they'll never be attracted to me. What does that say about what I thought about men? Awful. That's, I've talked about it before, but I feel like I need to make another video about all that. But, you know, that's what has left me here where I probably should be having grandbabies. And where are they? They're nowhere. It's awful. So I don't feel sorry for these 304s at all. I don't. And I don't feel sorry for myself. I feel sad, but I know it was me. I don't blame anyone else. I'm embarrassed, and I should be. Like, I'm moving past it. I'm not staying in that area because I know there's redemption. There's only one who can make it okay. But anyway, I'll leave you guys with that. Oh boy, is she still there? Look at her, she fell asleep. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and also, even more important than that, is please protect your peace. It's important, and you're worth it. You're allowed to have peace, okay? Don't let this world steal it. Don't. Feed your souls, okay? Feed your souls. If you don't think you have a soul, pretend you do and feed it. See what happens. I want you guys to know I love you, and I will see you on the next one, okay? I'm reading your emails and your comments. I do. I can't respond to all of them, but I'm trying to read as many as possible, and I so appreciate them. Just know that I appreciate you, okay? Always. And send me any, you know, suggestions you have of what you'd like to see me talk about, or something you think I need to know. What am I missing? Because it's you guys that can tell me, right? This is about you. So on that note, I'll tell you again, I love you, and I'll see you on the next one.